Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
Hello, everybody. I'm Michael.
I'm your host with the most, John.
And I'm Andrew, and you are listening to the Toy Rewind Podcast. This is a little place where the three of us like to get together and talk about toy lines from our childhood and tell you about how they got made and how they ended up in the stores and in all of our houses. You're listening to episode 103, and we're going to rewind back to 1989, and we're going to talk very carefully about this action figure line released by Kenner. With John and Michael's approval, I say we try to do this without saying this 3 times in a row. We're talking about Beetlejuice this week, and I just don't want him to pop up in, the head with the carousel kind of creeps me out. So,
we were going to do the intro right when we were about to do the intro, and I was thinking, I should have told you guys we'd all be Beetlejuice, and we say it 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. We gotta keep that from happening. So let's just spread out his name a few times, and we'll be good. We'll be good. So it's gonna be a good episode. But before we can get into it, before we can talk about the toy line, John, do your thing.
All right, so check our socials out over at Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. It's all Toy Rewind Pod. Facebook and YouTube, Toy Rewind Podcast. Check our website out, toyrewindpodcast.com, or you can check us out over at crossthestreamsmedia.com. If you're on Cross the Streams Media, click the little microphone deal and leave us a voicemail. And then you can email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. And then, as always, if you want to play along with a little bingo game, you can go to podcastbingo.com/toyrewind and let us know if you get a bingo or anything.
Yeah, we're going to hear from our good friend Larry here in just a little bit to find out if he had these toys, any of these toy lines. But the way he sends those in is he goes over to Cross Streams Media, he clicks on our podcast, and the little microphone down at the bottom, like John was just mentioning. So easy peasy. No offense, Larry, but if Larry can do it, I think anybody can do it. So no, Larry's a good guy. We appreciate his voicemails, but feel free to send in your voicemails to let us know what you want to listen to, what you'd like to hear us do, or what you think about any of the toy lines we've talked about. You guys ready to talk about some Beetlejuice?
You mean Beetlejuice?
Beetlejuice? All right. So this toy line is just something that they had to go along with the movie. I'm sure everybody has seen the movie. It's go wacky, crazy.
You say everybody has seen it, but Megan just watched it for the first time.
Really?
The other day, I guess the last 2 days when I got home.
Megan lived a sheltered life, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure we've all seen this a million times.
I've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but this line was released in 1989 by Kenner. This toy line, like I said, tied into the 1988 Tim Burton movie of the same name, Beetlejuice, which starred Michael Keaton and Winona Ryder. The line consisted of 2 series and a side series of 4 more figures called Neighborhood Nasties. They said it's a side series of it, but it kind of fits in with the second series. So the Neighborhood Nasties, we'll talk about this real quick. They're 4 humanoid ghosts that turned into animals. So these were very similar to Kenner's The Real Ghostbusters Haunted Humans. And then there were the 4 of them they had Teacher Creature, which was a teacher that turned into a bat. You had a Street Rat, which turned into a punk that turned into a rat. And then you had Old Buzzard, which was an old farmer that turned into a buzzard. And you had Hungry Hog, which was a glutton, so kind of a chunky guy. He turned into a pig. So There was plans for a third series that was to be based on the animated series, which came out shortly after the movie, and seemed to be able seemed to have gotten into the prototype stage, but Kenner ended up canceling it before they got too far into that. There was one toy that was confirmed for Series 3. It was Jacques Laline was his name. So that was one of the characters on the cartoon. So, I mean, really, to get into this, there's not much history behind this other than talking about the movie. So I'm sure we'll get into that here in a few minutes. Unless you want to go ahead and we can talk about the concept of the movie, if John, you want to do that. So it kind of, like I said, the toy line ties into that. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever.
go ahead.
You're the one that goes through it, so you got the history.
Well, you know the movie a little bit better than I do. I know that. So.
I know the movie, but so it starts off with the Matt Lloyd's? I can't remember.
Maitland's,
yes.
Yeah.
And they're redecorating their house and stuff, and then they leave to go to his
hardware store.
Yeah, the hardware store that he owns to get something that he wasn't doing. Thanks. On the spot here. I didn't have all this in the notes. And then on their way back, they dodge a dog and fall off, go through the wooden bridge, fall off into the river. They drown. But all of a sudden, they end up back at their house. And they're like, how do we get to the house? So, and then, they realize they're dead and going through doing stuff. And then whoever buys the house, they start showing up to renovating and stuff. And they're trying to get them out of the house.
They didn't like the way they were renovating the house.
I mean, Delia is a very much a artistic person, and you've got Otho who's coming through spray painting walls. You can't do that. Come on, you can't do that.
Well, they're spray painting the walls to tell what they're gonna do with them and everything. But I mean, when they get done with all that, it's kind of weird. But they go to the Netherworld. I'm guessing. I think that's what it's called.
Yep.
And talk to their counselor, I guess, who, of course, if you commit suicide, you become a what do you call them?
A
service worker.
Service. What are they?
Service worker. Yeah.
Just the same thing.
There's a specific. It's a government worker basically. Yeah.
So they go talk to her. She's got her throat slit and. Or sitting there smoking and stuff, and smoke coming out of her neck. There's also the burned up man there with the smoking cigarettes, and you see a bunch of these others there. She tells them to get rid of them on their own. That she didn't have anything, but do not contact Beetlejuice, as they put it on the deal, so they would not be able to say his name right, and because apparently he was buried in the model of the town that Adam had made.
He's a freelance bio-exorcist. Yes, that's how he's listed.
That's Beetlejuice for Beetlejuice. They do contact him. Then they try to get rid of him, but Ortho gets a hold of the handbook for recently deceased. There's a joke on that one if you didn't catch it.
I found it. It's civil servants. That's the terminology they use in the movie. Yeah. I had to find it because it was bothering me.
And then, it's just a fun movie. I don't know what else you want to talk about. I don't want to give away too much if nobody's ever seen it, but I love the little dance they do. So then the shrimp grabs their face. I'll get that part out.
There's a lot that goes into this movie. If you haven't seen it, I very much encourage you to go see it. I think John and Michael would do the same.
I'm hoping most people have seen it now.
Yeah, I'm hoping most people have seen it by this point.
Spoiler alert.
This movie is the reason why Michael Keaton almost didn't become Batman. They saw how the WB, the movie makers, not Burton, but the movie makers saw how he was more of a comedic actor and didn't think he would work for Batman. But Tim Burton did, said, hey, he can do it. And so was able to cast him as Batman. So
Yeah, I mean, Michael Keaton does so many other shows and stuff, and he's kind of got a wide variety.
Yeah, but
He's well versatile.
But before Batman, Michael Keaton had only done comedy. He hadn't
up to
done
that point, it was
anything
just-
that was
Yeah.
serious. So Batman did help him change his career around to where he does multiple things, and he does have that broad range now. But
Yeah.
But
It's a great
just
movie.
fun movie. There's a
John-
cartoon that came out also that was great to watch if you've never watched it. I think it still holds up a little bit. Fun stuff. So
John does have the poster in his background there.
I did.
Pretty nice. It's a pretty nice poster. It's kind of cool.
And then
Yeah.
I have one that Corey, one of our buddies, or Carrie.
nice.
Carrie did that one. Sorry, not Corey. His brother's Corey, but Carrie drew that one. So,
We'll get into a little bit of movie trivia. I got a few little movie trivia things that I'll pop in later. We're not a movie podcast. We promise we're going to talk about toys. So let's get into that.
All right, so we're going to, like I said, there was a couple series on this as far as they got. So series 1 consisted of 6 figures. You had John's going to show them if you're watching the YouTube video of this, where you can see each figure. He actually has. You got the complete series, John? Are you missing anything?
So I don't have the little creepy crawlies for all of them. I do have, I think, all the series 1.
Okay.
So as you're calling them out, I'm going to pick them up.
Okay.
But
All right.
I'm going to move some of these so they're not, the others can come into focus.
Okay. So series 1 starts out. You have Shish Kebab Beetlejuice. He's got scary skewers with him. Those are the things that are poking through him. So
Yeah, these pull in and out. Oops.
let's see. Do all these all have one thing in common? They have all their heads come off, don't they?
Yeah,
They have
all
small
the,
heads.
well, all but one of them.
Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right.
they all have, like, he's got the eyeball
Okay.
for shish kebab.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what but he does. Like, you can stab them and put them through. There's a snake. There's one of the snakes on one of them. A bat, a hot dog, an eyeball, and then this little. I don't know what you even call this little dude.
That's a troll.
Yeah, it looks
but
like
it's like a punk rock troll with a horn through its head.
Yeah,
It looks like a
well,
mix between a Teletubby and a treasure troll.
But yeah, so he's got all that.
The hot dog's funny. I think that's pretty funny.
Arms don't really move, but the head comes off.
So the toys, most of the toys were designed after the cartoon, right?
No, it was these were from the movie.
These were from the movie.
I mean, some of this stuff wasn't shown in the movie. This shish
That was-
kebab,
yeah.
Well,
but the
shish kebab.
character itself is from the
I think they had a
movie
little fun
first.
with this one because if you think about that one scene where she picks him up and he's small on the deal and all the spikes come out of him.
Yeah.
So
He's small in the little model, and she picks him up, and then he like shoots spikes out.
yeah, and it
Yeah, we're gonna ruin this movie for everybody.
well,
If
if
you
you
haven't
haven't
seen
I've already had the movie.
But yeah,
All right.
these figures are modeled after the Michael Keaton movie figure. Whereas the cartoon figure the cartoon character looked a little bit different than
Yeah, he did. He
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
these actually look like the movie
He's not gonna stand up. to him.
characters. Yeah.
There you go.
So that was shish kebab Beetlejuice. Then you have Spinhead Beetlejuice, and he came with a creepy cockroach. Is what a lot of these. A lot of these, like I said, the head pops off and they have something smaller, and they have a small head or something like that. And then they come with some kind of creature.
His head
that
just
comes
spins
with it.
around.
So,
Yeah, it just spins around. It's got a little dial in the back that you do it,
Oh, okay.
and then
This one's great for. This is like modeled after the end of the movie when he gets his head shrunk.
yeah.
right. This one is in the wedding suit.
In the wedding suit, but
So-
because it's when he gets his head shrunk at the end. So,
But if you remember at the beginning of it, when he first meet Adam and his wife, at one point his head turns around and goes in circles.
Yeah, they didn't believe him. He was scary enough or something. Then he spun his head around.
Yeah,
Oh.
he was sitting there, and it's like, whoa, It sucks when that happened. You know?
Yeah, I guess he's still in the wedding suit when he goes back after when he goes back to the Netherlands.
Yeah, when he's sitting there on the couch waiting and tricks the headhunter with the number.
Yeah.
He had the headhunter had like number 4 waiting list, and Beetlejuice had 1,999,600 something like that, you know.
Yep.
So, but yeah, and then the headhunter shrinks his head for doing that. So yeah, that's that. So the next character, you had Showtime Beetlejuice with Rotten Rattler. So this guy here has Showtime. What all does he do? His head goes up. His head goes up, and he's got like bats on his ears.
Yep.
And
it comes up. It's a carousel.
Yeah, carousel.
That's what it is, because when in the movie it comes up, it's got the carousel going around. His arms stretch out and all this stuff. But I do have Rotten Rattler right here, so I do have one of them. And then when you pop his head off, it's a little green snake face.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
And the Rotten Rattler is just like a snake with black and white stripes and Beetlejuice's head on the end of it.
Yeah, it mimics. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but if that one time when he's the snake in the deal on the for the staircase and everything, and then trying to scare
interesting enough, John. Before we go on to the next one, is this a foreshadowing that he will eventually pay Batman? He has bat ears there. Not that anybody was thinking about that at the time, but hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go on with the fourth character on this series 1. You had Harry, the haunted hunter, and he came with a terrible tarantula. I don't see a tarantula there, John. So
I don't have the tarantula. Okay. Like I said, I don't have a lot of the little ones.
Yeah.
But I do have. I mean, he's holding a different one. I don't know who this one's actually supposed to go with. I'd have to look it up. But he kind of looks another. I guess he could be the. I think it's. I don't know. But yeah, so I don't have Harry's head.
He's like the safari hunter that the head hunter shrinks his head in the movie.
So when you pop his head off, his head disappears, and then he's got the shrunken head that goes up and down.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So next we have Otho the Obnoxious.
No.
And he came with a loathsome lizard. So
you got Otho.
Otho.
Right. Yep. And what you do is you hit him on the deal hard enough, and his head will pop
on his feet.
Yeah, on the feet, and his head pops, and then he's got that one when he screams.
It's a real skinny, tall head that looks like he's screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And like I said, he came with a lizard. I'm trying to see what. Yeah. Okay. So next we have Adam Maitland, the Headless Ghost.
All right. So you got Adam. So you got Adam. He's got a hat on backwards. Not really sure why he's got the hat on backwards. Did he wear his hat? I don't
remember it in the movie. He never wearing a hat. I don't even know if he had a hat.
But at one time, she pulls his head off and she's sitting there holding it and stuff. So you can slide it over and take his head off. You got his head. So then
it go down his arm, doesn't it?
Yeah. You can take it in. It goes down the track on his arm. So you can position it how you want to. And then, when he's back at the civil servant place and the lady tells him, well, what are you going to do to scare him away this time? Because you've already screwed up everything. And he stretches out his nose and stuff. Then you got his little mask covering.
Yeah, then he pokes his eyeballs out and puts them on his fingers, doesn't he? Does that
have
he
puts his fingers on his.
No, his fingers doesn't have eyeballs, but
okay. Does the head have the eyeballs in it?
No.
Okay.
That head looks just plastic, doesn't it? Or like just rubber.
Yeah, it's just something that covers over.
Well, that's
it literally covers.
Uh-huh.
And that was
Well,
it.
the movie, the visual effects of the movie is pretty cheesy. It looks like rubber anyway when he does that. Doesn't it?
Yeah, both of them do.
Yeah. So
it's perfect because there's very little like CG in this actual movie. A lot of it's just,
it's all
practical effects. That's the word. Yeah.
Cheesy. Yeah, they're cheesy.
It is cheesy. It is,
yeah.
especially now. Now, I think when we watched it back then, I don't think it was that cheesy.
No.
I mean, it probably was, but it
yeah,
it was good stuff.
It's like going back and watching Clash of the Titans, the original one.
I love that. I love that movie, but it is bad.
We watched it the other night, actually.
The stop motion characters are that's the best. I like those. So, all right. Okay, so that's the 6 for Series 1. You had Shish Kebab Beetlejuice, Spinhead Beetlejuice, Showtime Beetlejuice, Harry the Haunted Hunter, Otho the Obnoxious. Yes, Otho the Obnoxious, and then Adam Maitland, the Headless Ghost. And then Series 2, they only get 2 more figures in Series 2. You had Exploding Beetlejuice with a Dreadful Dragon. And I see you have Dreadful Dragon there, John.
Yep, I do have Dreadful Dragon. I actually had him before I got Exploding Beetlejuice. So, Exploding Beetlejuice. I mean, he is yellow and blue for some reason.
I feel like that came from the cartoon.
Yeah,
I feel like there was
kind of based on bringing in the cartoon, but he still got,
he's still got the Michael Keaton look, which the cartoon does still look somewhat like Michael Keaton. It's just a very animated version of Michael Keaton.
But what you do with this one is you squeeze the legs together.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you how he explodes because it didn't look like he was going to come apart.
Yeah, it explodes, and then his head has a little bug body. So
he can walk. I mean, like a little bug with a Beetlejuice head on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then this one's cool. Of course, you got your legs. It just pops down onto the little trigger, and then the body snaps back on. Whoops.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't push those legs at the same time. But this one is actually the newest one to my collection. It came in this past week.
Nice.
So,
okay.
But yeah. But they did really good. Now the back, you can see where the line is.
Yeah.
The front just follows right up with the belt. So they did good at masking that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right orange shirt.
All right. So next, the next figure on Series 2, you had Shipwreck Beetlejuice with Horrible Hydra. Is the character that is the figure?
Who was the one that was with Exploding?
The Dreadful Dragon.
Dreadful Dragon.
That's the gold one, or is this
the one? No, that's the one you have in your hand. This Dreadful Dragon is. Yeah, Hydra's a little green thing with 3 little Beetlejuice heads. Actually, Dreadful Dragon is like a pink looking dragon looking thing.
It's not the gold one? That one's gold, yeah.
The gold one goes with Otho.
Okay, this one's Otho.
He goes with Otho.
That's the Loathsome Lizard.
Yeah, Loathsome Lizard.
Loathsome Lizard. Yeah.
So Shipwreck, of course, head doesn't come off on him. Head doesn't come. I mean, you saw what happened with the head on the other one. But these are more like this one, he doesn't move his arms and legs, but he's got an action figure. When you squeeze your legs, his arms go up, and then the little deals come out of his head.
Huh. So what is it he does have coming out of his head? Are they like tentacles, or are they?
Oh, they're like
worms
spikes?
Or
spikes.
Spikes. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, they look like octopus. They've got little suction cups on one side, so they look like little octopus.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. All right.
But it was Shipwreck, so
I guess I would put the water. Yeah. All right, so that's Series 2. Like I said, Series 2 also coincided with the Neighborhood Nasties, which I talked about a while ago. With the
I don't have any of them. Those are harder to get.
So you had Teacher Creature, Street Rat, Old Buzzard, and Hungry Hog, which I talked about a while ago.
Yeah.
So there was a play set that came with this. called Vanishing Vault. And it came. What is it? It's like a grave that you put it opens up and you put Beetlejuice in there, and then it disappears, and then it actually comes with a decomposing micro Beetlejuice, which is a little small version of Beetlejuice.
Does it look like the one John's showing us?
It is. Yeah, it's
Just
the one
kidding.
John's
Just
showing us
kidding.
there.
And that's the decomposing Beetlejuice?
Yeah. Does he look like he's decomposing, John?
He's just small.
He's just small.
It's just small. Small Beetlejuice.
So I guess that one kind of ties in with his when he's on the little model, the town model that they have when he's standing there yelling at them, and he's like, hey, you know. But yeah, so it's like a graveyard scene that you slide it open and you put Beetlejuice inside, and then what's that? The little.
Okay. So you got it. You slide it open, and this is supposed to have the little beetle guys, but it's not. I don't have that one. I'm trying.
The big sign that says okay.
You put your Beetlejuice in here, and you shut it, and flip this. And you open it up.
How's that?
Now he's shrunk.
Okay.
You put him back in. Shut it. Okay. Open, and now he's back.
All right.
It's a little magic trick.
It's like a magic trick thing, yeah.
It does have, here lies Beetlejuice, but they actually put Beetlejuice in that still says Beetlegeist, I believe, on the actual stone. So
yeah, the movie says Beetlegeist.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, a little fun.
Yeah, the tombstone's got the skeletons and stuff around it. And makes it look kind of creepy. The
only thing I'm missing is the sign right
You're
there.
just missing the sign.
So, where does little Beetlejuice go? That's what I thought. He goes into the little pillow that shows up. Yeah.
Okay.
But okay, so switch it. Now open it. You see where he's at?
Yeah, he's right there.
He's right inside that little pillow that shows up there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's the only place that came with it. Now there was 2 vehicles that came with this. You had the Creepy Cruiser and the Phantom Flyer, and John's got both those as well. John's nearly complete with this set. He just needs to get his neighborhood nasties here.
Yeah, I'd love to, but they're all right. So of course, this might be another heads up on that he might be becoming Batman, because Beetlejuice did not have a car. All right. Beetlejuice did not have a somewhat neat Batmobile, if you wanted to call it that thing, but this is the Beetlemobile, I guess. But it's pretty cool. It's just a little car. It does have, like, where I got Otho sitting there. When you do roll it, it starts spinning him around and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And like, it will actually eject him. I'll bring it over here. So, but like, you could do it and it'll eject them. So it will actually throw them,
Okay.
But yeah.
So looking at it, it's purple and it's got black and white stripes on it, and it's got on the front, it's got a cow skull with horns.
A big one, a very large cow skull.
Yeah. Yes.
And if you're looking at it, like you talk about Batman, Michael Keaton being Batman, look at the way it's designed. It's got some homage to some Batmobiles, it looks like.
But maybe a little. But it's especially the back end of it, where it's got the 2 boosters and the wings on the back of it. But it's interesting enough that the front end of it looks like some of the more futuristic Batmobiles that we've seen newer that were not a thing then. So you look at it and you're like, oh, that does look like a Batmobile, but it's like 2 different times.
Yeah.
So, like I said, throws them out.
Yeah. And by the time this
little snakes.
And like we said, this when this toy line came out, if you think about it, it did come out at the same time. It came out in 1989. So Batman was coming out at the same time this toy line was coming out.
Oh, I'm definitely sure that they were thinking Batman and the Batmobile from '66 when they made that car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the whole Keaton is now Batman because at this point we knew that Keaton was going to be Batman. And everything.
Yeah.
So
all right. So that was the creepy cruiser, right? So Phantom. So we're going to talk about the Phantom Flyer real quick, and this is more like a trike, three-wheeled motorcycle.
Yeah. So this right here, the way I have it set up, it's got the 3 wheels, set up. It's got the skull, which the skull comes in more into the cartoons and stuff.
Yeah. Didn't the skull talk in the cartoons?
Yes.
Yeah.
But you take it and you flip down your wings. All right. Now you can fly around, but you can also, swoop down and grab stuff. Whee!
Interesting.
Yeah, the front wheel comes off, and the things that the hands that were holding the wheel on the front can now grab something since they.
Okay, and John, you did something. Loaded. You did something with that is one of the best things when you can change a car or a vehicle or a toy around, and they make a spot for the extra pieces so that you don't lose them. That is great. Like so, that
actually snaps in there. So.
That wheel pops into the back right underneath the seat, and it becomes a design feature part of this also. So the fact that they were smart enough to do that so that you didn't lose this wheel, because if you just pop that out and you throw it down on the ground, it's gone. 30 minutes later, you have no idea where that's at.
Yeah.
So I think that is great that they Kenner. It's Kenner. Is that Kenner?
Yes, Kenner.
All right, so Kenner's doing it. They're smart. They're actually thinking about these toy lines and how kids are going to play with these toys long before they're actually putting them out for the kids to play with them. So, yeah, that one's pretty cool. I like that one.
Yeah, I like that. That's a pretty cool little vehicle there. So a couple other things that go along with this toy line. There is a 12-inch talking Beetlejuice that has a spinning head. I don't know. I'm sure he says all his basic phrases. I don't know.
I think it's all the basics.
But I know his head spins. But like I said, I don't know all his phrases, but I'm sure it's like it's showtime and stuff like that. He says. So I don't know what John's doing there. Anyway. So that's a 12-inch talking Beetlejuice with spinning head, and then there's 2 role-playing items that you get to you can pretend that you're Beetlejuice with. There's a gross out meter, and what it does is it can tell you kind of, it's like a hand, and you can put it around somebody's arm or whatever, and it has a little thing that spins, and it tells you different kinds of let's see, it tells if you're offensive or something like that. It kind of gives you a reading of what that person is, and then if it's bad or whatever, it actually has a flip out bug. So you hit a little button in it, and this little bug flips out and gets thrown at the person that you're checking on. So it's just kind of something kind of weird on that. And then there's a snake mask. So it's kind of like a Halloween type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can get a good picture of it here for you. Let me share my screen here and it's present, isn't it? And I got this on. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, so this is a picture off of this action figure archive that doesn't work when there's like 2 people on there, but but anyway, it's a snake mask. It kind of looks like a Mardi Gras type thing that you put over. It covers the top of your face from your nose up, and it's got these little looks like worms or something out of the top of it that that kind of dangle, and it's got it's got a little button on there that you press with your hand, and it'll spring out the little worms out of the top of your head. It makes it look gross. So yeah, so that's your snake mask, and that's pretty much the last item in this toy line that we're talking about here.
This is a fun toy line. I really like how obviously a lot of this is coming from the movie, but they're kind of also doing things out of the cartoon also. Just kind of being more fun with this. Because, Beetlejuice, that's all it is. It's all about fun. They could really go as far out as they wanted to with this. This is not like Star Wars. In Star Wars, they could really go almost do anything too, because it's all in the future. But it's, they could do all the gross stuff with this that, boys are going to like, especially in the 80s, early 90s. So,
yeah.
This toy line, it's cool. I like this one. I really like this.
I do too. I wish they would have got into the cartoon characters.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different personalities in the cartoon that could have been pretty cool toys.
It's they did the cartoon, or they did the toy line for Real Ghostbusters off of the cartoon.
Right.
Excuse me. The cartoon instead of the movie. They would have had a lot of fun if they continued on with this.
Yeah, Kenner did that as well. So
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So the good thing about that though is the way they brought in the cartoon, because the cartoon follows straight off the movie. Like they're already acquainted with the people living in the house. Lydia's there, and they're teaching her stuff. And I've got other stuff too. So of course we have the pops and stuff. I've got plushies. I've got one of the NECA ones.
Yeah, there was the last several years, I guess it's 2017, 2019. NECA has some figures, and Mezco put out some figures as well on Beetlejuice. So.
Yep. And then they did something with Burger King, of all places, and they had the little.
Of course.
Burger King toys.
Yeah, they did have the.
I really don't know if you call these toys. They're just little rubber.
No, those are the cartoon.
Yeah, these are the cartoon ones.
For the Burger King toys,
so,
meals. Burger
so
King.
If you can see how Beetlejuice looks on these.
Yeah.
Lydia. I've got Mom still in the package, not even out of the packaging. So,
Delia.
Yeah, manufactured to Burger King Corporation. So this bag is not a toy.
Do you know how many of those they had for Burger King, John?
I don't know exactly how many they have. I have 4 of them.
Okay.
So I have 4 different ones of those. I've got, like I said, the NECA figure, which was pretty cool. Pretty crazy.
I like that. That one's. I like a lot of the NECA figures that they've done, but the way that they took Beetlejuice in this and they made him, I don't know, it's a very much more updated version of him.
Right. Whoops. Loyal Subjects. They did the little mini figures. So I've got one of those of just Beetlejuice. I don't have the others. I want to get the rest of them. And then he's got the sandworm, but he's actually got articulation and stuff in his elbows, knees. So it's an actual mini.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Action figure. Unlike some of the other toys that don't, they just move at the hips and stuff. I think what else I have. The bunny or funny, whatever you want to call them, little figures and stuff. And then I did come across in '90 they did trading cards.
Yeah, for the cartoon.
Yeah, cartoon, and came across some of those.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Just more.
How many cards are in the set? Do you know?
I have to go back and relook at that. I had it.
As we get on, let us look that up, John. What do you guys think? Do you think our good friend Larry had any of these?
I would say yes.
I want to say yes, because I'm going to be very disappointed if he.
All right, let's find out, and everybody needs to be a little careful here. Okay.
Hey, it's Larry from the STS guys. What's going on, everybody? Beetlejuice. Yes, totally had one Beetlejuice figure. I had to Google it. It was the spinhead Beetlejuice, right? His head popped off and had the little shrunken head underneath. Came with a really cool spider too. This is a great toy line, man. Probably a little underrated at the time, but like looking back at it now, these are all super cool.
Yeah.
Again, we want to say thanks to Larry for sending those in and let us know what he does. Larry had so many toys growing up. This is what we like to take that little challenge and see if we could figure out if he had anything or not. So thanks, Larry, for sending those in. And yeah, we got a winner on this one.
What does it say?
It says each number set contains 100 cards and 20 glow-in-the-dark stickers.
Okay, so 100. I didn't know if it was 100 or 150. That's usually what those sets contain. It's about 100 or 150.
And I'm guessing they did 3,000 sets from what this says.
Okay. Wow.
And it says to order your set, send a check or money order for $15.95 to Dark Flip Cards Incorporated.
Yeah, that's if they only did like 3,000 sets, that's not much at all for back then. That was when the trading cards were everywhere back then. It was
they did trading cards for everything.
Yeah, I mean they kind of still do a little bit, but back then they had a trading card. Baseball cards. They did so many of them. None of that's worth anything from the late '80s to through the '90s until that kind of just went up, busted. But yeah,
So we're also in another predicament here where I believe for the third episode, our rankings will continue to match because I would like to assume that we are all going to be number one on all these based off of what we currently have. We all know John will be.
It's like, do I need to give you my number?
And I will be. It's going to be number one for me on this based off of what we have here. And Michael, is my assumption correct?
Yeah, I'll put it right above Action Jackson. Yeah.
Okay. I just assumed that it would be number one because I mean, honestly, these are great. These are great toys. They're fun.
They're fun.
So
I mean, I pull them down and play with them a little bit, and I've got, if you notice, I do have multiples of them in different heads because I've got the heads, just a couple of the heads.
You just got the heads laying around the house.
Yeah, because I mean, like I don't know how I got one, but I have one that has the wrong head on it, and I was like, well, it makes more sense this way than that way, and I don't want the same one sitting up there. I put them in the car; they're all sitting around. So.
Yeah. I got a question. What out of everything off the movie, even maybe the cartoon, what figures? What would you like to see as a figure that wasn't made? I'm thinking I'd like to see a sandworm.
Yeah, I was thinking that. And that we kind of got one. We got a small one. That little one with Beetlejuice's head on it. That's kind of cheating for them.
But it's just
not. Well, that's not the sandworm. Let's go back, like I said, to all that. I would like to see a sandworm, and then Barbara.
Yeah.
They did Adam, but they didn't do Barbara, and I'd like to see hers with her ugly face.
And then this gets more into what they did with like Ghostbusters, but Juno, which is the name of the civil worker that helps them out, and then the football players that she has. I feel like those guys would be fun to see.
I'd like one of those
as characters.
Then the guy that was flat, he's like asking how he looks on this side because he's so flat he can't see his other side because he got ran over and flattened. Right. Or I guess he didn't get ran over. I guess he jumped in front of it because he's a civil worker.
Yeah, he's a civil worker now.
So he committed suicide. So, and then Miss Argentina.
Oh, that would be fun.
So,
all right. So I have a little movie trivia. I'm gonna kind of run you guys through real quick.
Okay, how much I can remember after watching it.
Here we go. Tell me what actresses Lori Loughlin, Diane Lane, Sarah Jessica Parker, Brooke Shields, Justine Bateman, Molly Ringwald, and Jennifer Connelly all have in common.
Winona Ryder.
So is that what the question? Who?
Yeah,
I don't know
what the question was. What do they all have in common? What is the one thing with this movie that you think they would all have in common?
Michael Keaton.
No.
Oh, not the person. Something about it.
It's something about them. These are all the actresses who allegedly, there's no guarantee, but they allegedly turned down the role of Lydia
Oh yeah,
Deetz.
yeah.
And then Juliette Lewis auditioned, but it was eventually given to Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
The movie's name was originally, and it was nearly called Scared Sheetless instead of Beetlejuice. Anybody know where they got the name Beetlejuice?
Not
No?
really. No.
If you're a fan of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it would come up a little bit more. There's a star inside of the constellation Orion called Beetlejuice, but it's spelled a little differently. It's spelled closer to the way that they put it on his gravestone.
The Beetle guys.
The Beetle guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. The actor Glenn Shaddix, who played Otho in the movie, sadly passed away in 2010. But at his funeral, they played Deo.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
that's cool.
Um,
And that song got that helped out.
Yeah.
What's his name that sang that song back in the day?
Harry
He made
Belafonte.
that popular again. Yeah, Harry Belafonte. Yeah, that made him popular again there for a while. Yeah.
If you had a movie named after you as a character, would you assume that you're in that movie more than just 17 and a half minutes of a 92-minute movie? You'd think.
Yeah, he's not in there
He's
at all.
barely in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's great because it's like you start watching it, you expect him to pop up sooner, and it's like halfway through the movie before they even get to that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me really wonder if there was more plans for a sequel that would have him in more, that just never came across. And I know they are working on sequels. They're rumored to be working on sequels.
I was going to say they're rumored to be working on them, but we'll see what happens.
And there's one more. Where's it at? This won an Oscar. Kind of fun to think about that. For makeup Oscar. And the original choice for Beetlejuice. Anybody know who it was?
Dang it. I just read something on this one.
I saw that, but that was
He turned it down.
Tim Burton wanted him. Sammy Davis Jr., which makes you wonder what this movie would have been like with Sammy Davis Jr. as playing Beetlejuice. Just
Sammy Davis Jr.
I just don't know.
That would have been a whole different thing.
Just a little movie trivia there for you. Just keep going. This is a lot of fun. I love this movie. The toy line is a lot of fun. I think it's great.
Yeah,
I like that car, John. I think one of those cars would fit well with mine, with my collection, just because of the whole tie-in with how it looks so much like a Batmobile.
Right.
Well,
so
maybe
if I ever
should
get a second one, maybe we can make it a custom.
There you go. Something fun. Yeah.
You know what I'd like to see if, and this goes back to my diecast stuff. They do movie vehicles and stuff like that. The little truck that he drives in the movie.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The little toy truck. I don't even know what. It's not a Hot Wheels that's on there. I don't know what brand that might be. I have to go back and look at the movie to see. But I would like to see that as a movie vehicle. That would be
a lot of fun.
Yeah, I want to find. I was thinking about it because we're going to start working on our Halloween decorations for next year, because I got too far behind, and I was like, I would love to find the yellow car.
Oh yeah,
that they wreck. Have one to, sit out and.
John, because you bought all those, what was the price points for those toys? Were they? You said there were a few that were hard to find.
I paid
$28
for exploding Beetlejuice.
Was he the most expensive?
Hardest
to find?
Well, he's the last one I came across, and that's where I got the trading cards too. The others I got 2 different lots in, and that's how I got the doubles. And then, of course, I got one with the Vanishing Vault and one with the car. I've got 2. I've actually got 2 of the bikes. So
definitely a toy line that's worth collecting. I mean, especially if you like it, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's something I like, and probably the one, like Michael said, I'm closer to finish on this one.
With it being such a small line like it is, it's a lot easier to to finish. I mean,
Yeah.
to get to complete the set.
Yeah, but some of them are costly. I looked at some of the others, and I think the 4 ghosts were anywhere from 80 to I think 250 is what I saw.
Oh wow!
And I don't think they weren't out very long because they were close to the end of before they got canceled. So
now, if I wanted to get these
they're
on
harder
card,
to find, yeah.
If I wanted to get them on card, you're looking more close to the 50 plus range for each one.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I've seen some with cards. I was trying to steal one and I got outbid for 3 of them. You know,
that always happens.
My price was winning until the last hour, and then all of a sudden it shot up like $30 over what my top bid. So.
John, I had a TMNT blimp. I was winning until the last 5 seconds. And in that last 5 seconds, it shot up almost $100.
Yeah. You get those snipers in there.
Yeah. And I'm like, come on. It was a perfect one too. It was great.
That'll do it. I've done that a couple of times with Hot Wheels, but
anyway. Yeah. Wait, you've been the sniper?
I have, and I've still gotten outbeat because there's
Don't do that, Michael. That's not nice.
I've still gotten outbeat.
I still got outbeat because they put a higher price than me, but they end up paying. I know that. So
yeah, they end up paying for it. That's always fun. When
it's
you're like,
just
you know what? Screw you. You got to pay for it.
It's something that I really, really. It's if I do it, it's for something that's almost impossible to find again.
Yeah,
and I just put a big bid on right at the last second to
try to get it.
But I've still gotten outbeat by other people, so it's not a fail safe way to win. So you still.
Well, this is definitely a great line to talk. I mean, it is Halloween time. I know we've got a few monsters we're going to talk about in the coming weeks too, but this is definitely a good line to talk about during Halloween. And I know we've been holding off on talking about it. So if anybody was wondering why we hadn't talked about Beetlejuice, it's because we were holding off for October. This is usually when we talk about our spooky toy lines.
Yeah, I got put on the list last year, but we'd already lined out Halloween. So
we'd already lined it out. So I like this one. This one's a lot of fun. It's kind of nice that it is a small line, like you said, so you can complete this. But there is so much that they could have done with this to like just blow this line up.
Oh yeah.
And maybe when they come out with a new movie, maybe they'll come out with some new toys like this. And I mean, lots of people are picking up those retro toys like Super Friends and stuff, and like the real Ghostbusters that re-released. So maybe we'll see these hit the stores soon. And especially that car, I'd love to grab me one of those cars new out of the box, see what it, have some fun with it. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add on this?
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, if he comes and gets you, Josh. Not my fault. And I know we did
3 times again.
Yeah, we did talk about how just in our chat about how they misspelled his name so that people wouldn't say it, and we brought that up. I think that's kind of cool. Just little things in the movie that they did, and I don't think there could have been a better actor to play Beetlejuice or a better a director for the actual movie, because Tim Burton's just it was great.
Yeah,
right up his forte.
Yeah, it is.
So, all right. Well, I guess with that, this is our Beetlejuice episode. We talked about it. We talked about it a lot. I just said that. That's a weird thing to say. If you enjoy this, we do talk about toy lines quite a bit, pretty much every week, pretty close to it. We got 102 other episodes besides this one that you can go check out. At least 98 of those are about toy lines. And you can also check us out over on Cross the Streams Media, where we have a lot of partner podcasts over there. There's too many to list now. I have a whole list here. It hasn't been updated in months, so it's really short, and there's a lot more over there. So crossthestreamsmedia.com. That's where you can go. You find our little red icon, says Toy Rewind Podcast. You click on the microphone down at the bottom, and you can leave us a voicemail. And then you can also listen to or check out all those other podcasts there. We're really happy to be a part of the group, good group of people with a lot of good content. So I assume there is a Beetlejuice episode for the Movie Gap. If there is not, come on, guys, what are you doing?
There should be.
And if there's not, why didn't we do this before? We should have talked about it, had them on. Yeah, I don't know.
I think they do have one.
There's got to be one. Otherwise,
just have to go back and check and see. Yeah.
So be sure you check those out. Be sure you check out our social medias. You can find those Toy Rewind Pod for most parts, like John mentioned earlier. And then check out our website, toyrewindpodcast.com. You can see our movie rankings. Also, some of our toy reviews. I think John's going to get me some reviews to add about these toy lines, or about these toys specifically, because good stuff. So
keep an eye on my Motoring Monday episodes.
Oh, yep. That's where we're going. The Motoring Monday episodes that Michael does about anything that has a motor in it, basically, they drop on YouTube. You can check that out. youtube.com/toyrewindpod, maybe. I don't know. The link's at the bottom of our website if you want to go there. And you can see those drop on Mondays. I think that's pretty sure that's why Michael calls it Motoring Mondays.
Motoring Monday. Yeah.
Good episodes. Actually, we get more views about that than we do many other things. So that's probably because the Hot Wheel people.
I think it's the diecast. So. But I've done other things other than diecast. I've got a couple of Transformers that are coming up.
You did the Starcom.
The Starcom vehicle we did. I have a mask. A vehicle back there that we've shown before, but it's been almost 2 years since we've done that.
2 years, yeah.
So I will put an episode on it, and then probably some more. Of course, I do have diecast, so
yeah,
we'll
we'll
get some more of those as well. I know there's some diecast people that love that. So yeah, just tune in if it's like some kind of motor transportation type thing for a toy line. That's what I'm shooting for that. Yeah.
All right. With that, nothing else about Beetlejuice?
No.
Nope.
All right. Well, then, on behalf of the Brothers Newland at the Toy Rewind Podcast, play on.
You've been listening to the Toy Rewind Podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.